as I stated in my preface, I said this is maybe a sentimental journey for all of us. As we get old, we get sentimental and start to remember the good memories of our past. And Anderson School, namely Datuk Sri Sabamani, provides us that common ground that we had, those happy days at Anderson School. But then we have to share Datuk Sri and all his good work with others from other schools, especially Sultan Idris Shah of Kobe. What I need most would be stories, interesting stories from anyone and everyone. And I've documented some of the stories, but not all. Because I think the greatness of Datuk Sri is the fact that he is a teacher of humanity. Compared to other teachers who teach us all kinds of subjects, he did not teach us just economics and make economics a living subject. And even Tunku Razali said that when he was helming our country's economy as finance minister, he said he did find some of those teachings by Cikgu very, very useful and practical. So we can say that Anderson School, I just discovered, was the first school in the country to have an economics teacher. And therefore, I entitled the chapter, The Budding Economist of Anderson School. And I've tried to make most of the chapters as far as possible to use economic jargon. For instance, the preface is not a preface, I call it Factors of Producing the Book. I don't call it just a preface or introduction or something like that. And the conclusion, realizing what his contributions have been to so many students, hundreds of students, reflects of color and creed. I call it returns of investments, meaning that he is receiving those returns. And as the phrase said, it is in giving that you receive. And he is exactly the person who has done that to all of us. You may want to know how far I've gone. Well, I think it's about 70% done. And I've got 2 chapters now circulating. One is with my good friend Shah. He's reading the chapter of Anderson. It's got just told me some very interesting comments and critiques. I love critiques. And also the one on SRS also is almost complete in draft form. Is being read by somebody from SRS. SRS means Scholar Idris Shah. I've done the early years, that is tracing the family root, and also his early days in Batu Gajah. And there are some very, very interesting stories in that chapter. The only chapter that I have not done is the family chapter, and for that very reason, they are both here, Datuk Sri and Datuk Sri, and tomorrow I'm going to grill both of them so that I can get the stories from them. And I'm going to describe with the 2 girls, Malini and Nalina, from US, so that we can have good conversation to complete the family chapter. With that, the final chapter, which is not complete, is the last chapter, that is when you share your stories with me. Now, I've got some papers with me at my table where you can write now or you can tell me later. And those of you that I've interviewed, thank you very much. But those of you that have not been able to contact, either because you don't have an email or I don't have your contact, please make sure that you submit your email numbers to the desk so that we can sort of interact and you tell me your stories through the email, through the internet email. Because I must tell you, honestly, there is no research fund FUND, for this project. It is all a labor of love, but I found a lot of fun, FUN, in writing. And I've been given a new title as from last night. Our Chico has referred to me as, headmistress. He said, I was away, I was in Kuching for a few days, and the plane was delayed. So I had to attend happy anniversary of our Tan Sri Aris and Puan Sri Sharina. I had no choice but to walk in my traveling clothes to this famous hotel at KLIA. You know, when the chairman, although not executive of the Malaysian airport, Berhad, say, you come to my anniversary dinner, I have to go, because otherwise I cannot use KLIA. So I had to troop that. And apparently as soon as Datuk Sri walked in, he said, where's the headmistress? Referring to me, I was late. And he had to do a lot of homework and a lot of writing. And so please, I appeal to each and every one of you, share with me your stories. And I think where's our chairman, our MC?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Our MC also have got, Datuk Talib got some very interesting story to share. I don't know whether he want to share with us here, and with tears running down his cheek, or he wants to write it. So if you feel more comfortable writing to me, because I have some very heart-wrenching stories told to me, and there have been some fakes told by some other people. I just confirmed from Tegur Tali, some stories told to me about him are the truth. Okay, so that's why you all better verify the stories, correct or not. So normally, as a writer, and by the way, I've done some writing myself since my retirement, women writing about women, all that stuff. And I do hold to the ethics of writing. That means you try to verify, at least from one other person, whatever story is told to you. And I would ask the subject to read through. I don't want any legal issues coming up because I cannot afford to hire Vijindran. I cannot afford to hire Vijindran to bail me out. It's too expensive. Okay, so that's it. So you want to know the progress? I see it's about 70%, or even slightly more, I think. And the target is launching should be July, because I've checked with Malini, the daughter, and she can come back in July. And the first draft, the whole draft complete should be ready, inshallah, latest by April. So give us about a month or 2 months to do the mock-up and the rest of it. And Datuk Sri wrote some photographs. I've not put in the photographs yet. So please come up with the stories, because as a biography, of course, when you're writing about, I just got the advanced copy of Tun Razak's biography. It's a very big one, I think 600 pages, I think. And it took 13 years. Yes, 3 writers from UK. But this will do it in 9 months. Or 6 months. Okay. Thank you. If any queries or whatever it is unseated over there, please feel free to approach me and to tell me your story, or if you are shy to tell me, maklumlah Datuk Sri, kan nak cerita malam tu malu kot, then you can approach me quietly at one corner. You know, this is my story. Okay then. Thank you very much.